Good afternoon and welcome into the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail Broadcast Booth, Sales, Service, and Side-by-Sides. My name is Adam Birch and this is the J&J Truck and Auto Body pregame show presented by J&J Truck and Auto Body. For the highest quality work and hassle-free customer service, let J&J get your vehicle back on the road. That's J&J Truck and Auto Body on East Philadelphia Street in Rapid City. Hardhats set to face the Watertown Post 17 here in Rapid City. A gorgeous afternoon moving into the evening for baseball. Slight breeze, very minimal breeze at that from what we've had to deal with early on this season. And let's set the table for these two ball clubs as they get set to do battle in Game 1 of 4 this weekend between Post 22 and Post 17. First in-state opponent for the Hardhats, and Post 17 with a 3-3 record coming into play. Last weekend they faced Fargo Post 400 and lost 3 out of 4 to Fargo, but they don't give up very many runs, as noted by those games against Fargo. It was a 3-1 loss in Game 1. They won Game 2, 2-1. And in Game 3, they lost 2-1, and then gave up a few more runs in the final game of the series, 11-5, the loss in Game 4. So this Watertown club doesn't give up that many runs, and that's something that the Hardhats have struggled with this season. Looking at Post 17, their numbers as a whole on the mound, a sub-2 ERA at 1.88 as a team. So a drastically different pitching club from what the Hardhats have seen this season. And the Hardhats, a young club as well, many spots to be won on the mound yet this season. As we take a look at the Hardhats numbers on the mound, they have an elevated 5.78 ERA as a team so far in this 2022 season. So much to be seen here as Watertown wasn't able to put up that many runs against Fargo 400, but and that's been a strength of the Hardhats, especially over the weekend in Billings. They scored plenty of runs and went 2-2 over the weekend. The Hardhats enter with a 3-5 overall record. And battling the elements in the final game on Sunday against Missoula, ended up falling to the Missoula Mavericks in Game 2, swept the Billings Royals in both games. They faced them in Game 1 on Saturday and Game 1 Sunday morning, and swept the Royals in that one before falling to the Billings Scarlets, late night affair on Saturday evening. So much to be seen here as we get set to get underway here in Rapid City. And let's talk about today's keys to the game. They are brought to you by Dakota Discount RV. Find the key to building lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. Take a look at their great selection of RVs at 2 locations. Dakota Discount RV is across from Cabela's and also on JB Road in Blackhawk. The big key to all of these games against Watertown, avoid the big inning, and that's something the Hardhats struggled to do in Billings. In each of the 4 games outside of the opener, the Hardhats gave up at least 5 runs in one big inning for their opponent. For Missoula, it was the top of the first inning, an 8 spot put up by the Mavericks. For the Royals, in Game 1 on Sunday, it was a 7 spot in the 6th inning. Luckily, the Hardhats had a sizable lead at that point and were able to hang on in that one. In Game 2 on Saturday evening, it was a 15 spot in the first inning. Yes, 15 runs given up in the first inning against the Billings Scarlets on Saturday evening in Game 2. And in Game 1, that was the one outlier. They just gave up a max of 2 runs to the Royals throughout that ball game in Game 1. The Hardhats take the field in their throwback uniforms here today. And let's take a quick step aside before we are set for baseball. You're listening to the J&J Truck and Auto Body pregame show right here on Hardhats TV and Fox Sports Rapid City. Welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail broadcast booth, sales service and side-by-sides. This is the conclusion of the J&J Truck and Auto Body pregame show as we are set for Game 1 of this 4-game set between Watertown Post 17 and your Post 22 Hardhats right here in Rapid City. The first pitch, a line drive, base hit right back up the middle into center field, and right off the bat, Watertown has a leadoff base runner. And that is Ryan Roby who led things off with that base knock. The center fielder is followed by the left-handed bat of Marcus Rabine. Rabine squares the bunt early and pulls back before Kelly misses outside for ball 1. Eli Kelly on the mound to start for the Hardhats. Well, the ceremonial tap of the Hardhats around him before we got underway. Working out of the stretch, runner on first, nobody out. Kelly sidesteps and a bunt dropped up to the third baseline. It'll spin up the line and just die right on the chalk line on the turf, and that's a fair ball as it did not cross the foul line. So an infield bunt single for Rabine to put runners on first and second. Now Braden Zog, the 3-bat right-handed bat. Gray batting gloves on the right side. And a shoulder width stance. He squares the bunt as well and offers at it. The throw down to second is not in time. It scoots into center field, backed up on the play by Zeke Farley. So the runners stay put. Now this is a Watertown club that is different from last year's power hitting ball club. They play small ball really well, and that's evident as they already have 2 on with nobody out, scoring the bunt in both the second and third batters. Here's the bunt attempt once again. He offers at it and misses, and now it's an 0-2 count, and now Braden Zog might have to swing away here. Plenty of speed on this Watertown club. Tap of the plate on the right side. Zog bounces the bat off his right shoulder. He's ready. Potentially swing away here against Kelly. The 0-2. He does swing away. He just gets a piece of it and fouls it back to the backstop. The count remains 0-2. Rest of the Post 17 lineup. And the starting lineups built by Connect Home Center, whether it's residential or commercial. Connect Home Center has been your hometown lumberyard since 1928. And Kelly will step off before the second 0-2. It's Brayton Zog, the first baseman, and Ben Altoff, the catcher. Jared Cyrus, the right fielder. Caleb Nygaard, the second baseman, batting sixth. Colby Locker bats seventh. He's the designated hitter. Will Engstrom, the shortstop, bats eighth as Zog fouls it away right side out of play. And Trevin Rodden bats ninth for post 17. He's in left field defensively. 2 on, nobody out. 0-2 the count on the 3-bat of Brayton Zog. Kelly from the stretch comes set at the chest, kicks and deals, and it's chopped up the third baseline foul right off the hand of Coach Neal. Defense behind Eli Kelly. Amarian Saylor in left field, Zeke Farley in center field, Harrison Good in right field, left to right in the infield. Wyatt Anderson at the hot corner, Wilson Kiefer at short, Peyton Tipton, the second baseman, and Alex Dietrich, the first baseman, as Kelly misses high and tight for ball one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Jake Solano, the other half of the battery mate with Eli Kelly. He's behind the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Kelly set a peek at second, kicks and deals. The 1-2 breaking ball swung on and missed, and Zog goes down hacking for the first out of the opening half inning. Here's the catcher and cleanup Ben Altoff. Altoff steps in on the right side, taps the plate, waves the bat out in front. Couple more waves before Kelly comes set. Still 2 on, now 1 out, and defense in double play depth. First pitch, breaking ball, misses inside and low for ball 1. Gorgeous afternoon, evening for baseball. Just past the 5 o'clock hour local mountain time. Kelly twirls the baseball behind his back, comes set at the chest. Peek at second and kicks and deals. And this one's chopped up the third baseline. This time Coach Neal just kind of scampers out of the way. Didn't want any piece of that ball in foul territory. So 1 ball, 1 strike on the catcher Altoff. Here's the 1-1, and it's a line drive right at the shortstop. Kiefer to second for 2. It's a 6-6-4 double play, and a big double play to end the opening half inning. Hardhats to the bats for the first time right after this on Hardhats TV and Fox Sports Rapid City.
We are your community. We are your neighbors. Our family of doctors are invested in our community. At Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, we are honored to help you along the journey from injury to recovery. You have a choice with Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you.
Welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail Broadcast Booth. Sales service and side-by-side. Scoreless after 1 half inning of play, and the Hardhats coming to bat for the first time here in Game 1 against Watertown. And let's set the Hardhats lineup, built by Connect Home Center. The Hardhats send Zeke Farley to the plate first. He's the center fielder. Marion Saylor, the left fielder, bats second. The designated hitter, Riker Henney, bats third. Alex Dietrich is the cleanup bat in the fourth spot. He's the first baseman defensively. Harrison Good, the right fielder, bats fifth. Wyatt Anderson at the hot corner, he bats sixth. Peyton Tipton at second base, seventh. Jake Solano behind the plate doing the catching, he bats eighth. And Wilson Kiefer, the shortstop, bats ninth for head coach Kelvin Torvey's Hardhats. A big double play, a line drive right to Wilson Kiefer to end the top half of the first. An L6-4 double play. And doubled off Roby at second base. Zeke Farley steps in on the right side. He faces Jackson Mogg, right-hander for Watertown. Mogg kicks and deals and hits the outside corner for a called strike one. 0-1 the count on Farley. Zeke Farley has started off strong in the young campaign. The 0-1 skips way in front of the plate with the breaking ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. For Farley, 13 hits in 23 at-bats. If you're doing the math, that's upwards of 500 at 565 average and a 1373 OPS. The 1-1 wind from Mogg, and Farley looks at a fastball called strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count on Farley. Wide open shoulder width stance with the 2 strikes. The 1-2 called strike 3, a fastball outside corner, and Mogg hits his spot, and it's a backwards K to start the bottom of the first. Haven't seen Farley strike out that often this season. Just 6 strikeouts to 6 walks going into that at-bat. Now, 7 strikeouts to 6 walks. Here's a Marion Saylor, one more Hardhat that has started off very strong in the young season. He looks at ball 1 outside. Jackson Mogg into the wind, kicks and deals. A breaking ball drops in there for a called strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 out and nobody on, a scoreless bottom of the first. Marion Saylor, 15 hits in 27 at-bats. And he looks at ball 2 that skipped in front of the plate. A 556 average and a 1488 OPS. And folks, if you're wondering, the MLB average is about 900. A line drive right into the sliding grab of Caleb Nyberg at second base on the right side, and that's quickly out number 2. That brings up Riker Henney. Tap of the plate on the right side. Shoulder width stance straight up. And Henney looks at ball 1, a touch outside with the breaking ball. Henney loves to jump over the first pitch, deciding to lay off the first pitch breaker. And ball 2 misses low. Two balls, no strikes to count on Henney. Mogg winds, kicks, deals. The 2-0 misses high and tight. 3 balls and no strikes to count on Henney. 2 outs and nobody on. Hardhats looking for their first base runner here against Mogg. He winds on the far first base side, and Henney taking all the way on the 3-0. It hits the upper outside edge, and is called strike 1. 3 balls and a strike, and he's still up in the count. Here's a 3-1 now from Mogg, and Henney chops it right side. The second baseman Nyberg fires the first in time, and a 4-3 ground out ends the first inning for both clubs. Scoreless after 1. We're back for the second right after this on Hardhats TV and 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City. and side by sides as we get set for the top of inning number 2. Scoreless after 1 inning of play. That score on the State Farm scoreboard insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. Hardhats and Watertown. Watertown in all gray uniforms, gray jerseys, and gray pants. First pitch from Eli Kelly to Jared Cyrus, swung on and missed by the right fielder, 0-1. Purple lettering with gold trim across the chest. 2 purple stripes outlining a gold stripe on the sleeve as well, with the numbers on their backs in that purple and gold as well. Kelly misses in the turf. 1 ball and 1 strike. Cyrus, Nygaard, and Locker. 3 scheduled against Kelly here in the second. The 1-1, a line drive right to Wilson Kiefer. It short hops him and goes into left center field. Cyrus takes a big turnaround first, but he's content with what I can almost guarantee will be a leadoff single. We'll see how it's ruled. Nygaard, the new batter, runner on first. And nobody out. Right-handed bat of Nygaard, rests the bat on his right shoulder, kicks it up. A long stance for Nygaard, and he toe taps and watches ball or strike 1 be called at the top of the zone. It is ruled a hit on the scoreboard. I would have to agree with that as Kelly works from the stretch. Sidesteps and deals, and swung on and missed by Nygaard. Oh, and 2 the count on Nygaard. Kind of a pigeon-toed stance. Tap of his front foot, leaning way back, and Nygaard swings through the 0-2 fastball and goes down to his bottom. As Kelly powered the fastball right past him for his second strikeout of the ball game, and out number 1 here in the second inning. Now Colby Locker, designated hitter, steps in on the right side, no batting glove look. Slightly open stance as Kelly fires the first on a check on Cyrus. And Cyrus dives back in safely. Tap of the plate, Kelly set once again at the chest. Sidesteps and delivers, and it's a called strike on the outside edge. 0-1 on Locker. Hardhats in double play depth. Anderson in line with a third base bag. And shading up towards the middle, the 2 middle infielders, and just about got Cyrus picked off on the play. He was leaning towards the second base bag. A throw a touch high from Kelly, and Dietrich had to reach up and slap the tag down, and Cyrus just got his right hand in. Kelly ready at the chest once again, and the 0-1 misses down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Kelly twirls the baseball behind his back. Solano relays the sign from the dugout. Set once again, and the 1-1 is swung on and missed. Actually foul, tipped into the mitt of Jake Solano. And now 1 ball and 2 strikes to count on Locker. A look down at Coach Ryan Neal at third. Before the 1-2, he taps the plate once again. And ready as Kelly comes set, another throw over to first, and Cyrus back in safely. Colby Locker on the season A .222 average, 2 hits in 9 at-bats. Ready once again against Kelly. The 1-2 swung on and missed a high fastball. And Locker goes down swinging, back-to-back strikeouts. And 3 overall for Eli Kelly. That's out number 2. Here's Will Engstrom. Engstrom, the shortstop, in the 8th spot. And he steps in. And kind of an opposite pigeon-toed stance on the right side. And another check on Cyrus by Kelly before the first pitch to Engstrom. So his toes are pointed away from each other versus inward. First pitch to Engstrom, a strike called on the lower outside edge, 0-1. Fastball that time from Kelly. Hit his spot, set up by Solano. Runner on first, Cyrus gains his lead with Dietrich holding him on. Kelly, a long pause, side steps and delivers, and this one popped up on left side wide. Anderson a step or two into foul territory and makes the grab for out number 3. Post 17, Strands a leadoff base runner, and we're through 1.5 scoreless as the Hardhats come back to the bats right after this on Hardhats TV and Fox Sports Rapid City.
Leading off the bottom of the 2nd inning, the Hardhats, first baseman number 27, Alex.
Welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail Broadcast Booth. Sales service and side-by-sides. We're set for the bottom of inning number 2. A tap of the plate on the right side for Alex Dietrich as he steps in to face Jackson Mogg. Scoreless after 1.5, and it's a bouncer to short. Will Engstrom fires across the diamond in time to get Dietrich on 1 pitch. That's a first out, 6-3 in the book for the Hardhats, and here's Harrison Good. Dietrich, Good, and Anderson, the 3 scheduled. Hardhats went down in order in their half of the first. Strikeout looking, a line out, and a bouncer to second. First pitch to Harrison Good, misses inside, ball 1. Good, slightly open stance on the right side, no batting glove look, and he pops it up right side, drifting out of play. Mogg threw just 13 pitches in the first inning. Wines, kicks, deals, and the 1-1 misses high and tight on Harrison Good. Thought about it, held up. A little flinch from his backside. 2 balls and a strike. Mogg kicks and deals once again, and this one misses down and away. 3-1. 1 out and nobody on. Mogg into the wind once again. 3-1, a ground ball up the middle, played by the shortstop Engstrom. A high throw caught on the back end by Zog, and 2 6-3 putouts. to start inning number 2 for the Hardhats. And now Wyatt Anderson, the third baseman. Anderson with a red brace on his left front foot as he steps in on the right side. Black batting gloves and a gray bat. And Anderson looks at ball 1 low from Mogg. 1 ball, no strikes to count. Wind and the 1-0 misses low. 2-0 the count. Mogg into the wind once again, and the 2-0 swung on and missed, this time a high fastball, and Anderson went chasing. 2 balls and a strike. Anderson, a pretty straight up stance on that right side. Bounces the bat off his right shoulder. The 2-1, called strike 2 at the knees. 2s across the board, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 gone, with nobody on, and it's scoreless. Bottom of the second. The 2-2 just got a piece of it and fouled it back to the backstop. And we'll do the 2-2 once again. Peyton Tipton on deck. The blue throwbacks for Rapid City has Rapid City across the chest in white letters as Anderson looks at ball 3 low. Some red trim along with a number on their right sleeve and numbers on their backs. White pants for the clean look. Here's the payoff to Anderson. Pop bow out of play right side. Hardhats still looking for their first base runner, alone their first hit against Mogg. The payoff once again, breaking ball misses high and tight, and there's the Hardhats first base runner. Comes via a 2-out walk. And now Peyton Tipton. So Tipton steps in on the right side. Kind of a slow start for Peyton. Early going. 2 outs, man on first, and it runs inside and hits the knob of the bat. The hands went up by the umpire, but it's played, and I guess they're saying that's out number 3. Our umpires come in and converge. As it landed in fair territory, Coach Storvey asking what's wrong, and our home plate umpire signaled foul ball right away, but they're saying that's out number 3, so we'll take a step aside here and come back for inning number 3 on Hardhats TV and Fox Sports Rapid City.
And we're still scoreless. Possibly third inning, $50. The next home center will start on $250. Those 22 earners will be walking through the stands. If you like, if you take it, just raise your hand, and they will indicate there. Thanks to the next home center, and thanks for participating in the 50-50.
Welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail broadcast booth. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. We're scoreless after 2 complete innings of play. Eli Kelly back to the bump for the Hardhats as Watertown will send 8, 9, and 1. Actually 9, 1, and 2 with Rodden at the plate. Trevin Rodden way back on his back leg. And bouncer up the middle to his left. Kiefer fields and fires the first. And on the transfer, Dietrich dropped it, but it's out number 1. They say he dropped it on the transfer. And that's out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 gone. Score at 6-3 in the book. Kelly working solely out of the stretch. Kicks and deals, and it's chopped up the third base line, and Coach Neal just about made a pretty terrific spinning grab. Has a nice chat with assistant coach Nick Ewing down the third base line. Stretching out his right throwing arm, Coach Neal. The 0-1. Breaking ball, missed the top of the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ryan Roby, a single to lead off the ball game. On the very first pitch, right back up the middle. Kind of ambushed Eli Kelly and the Hardhats. 1-1, breaking ball called strike 2 at the knees, outside edge, and now 1-2. 1 out, nobody on. Top of inning number 3. 7 innings here, 7 innings to follow. 1-2, a bouncer to Kiefer at short once again. He fields and fires to Dietrich on the back end and makes a grab for out number 2. Back-to-back grounds to short. And now Marcus Rabine. Rabine, the left-handed bat. Reached on a bunt single that just died on the chalk line. And he hacks and misses on a first pitch from Kelly to go down in the count 0-1. Scoreless top of the third, 2 outs and nobody on for Watertown. Kelly kicks and deals. The 0-1 misses up and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Kelly set. And the 1-1, a line drive past Peyton Tipton and into center field. With the 2 outs, it's another single for Rabine. He's 2 for 2 on the day. This one, a lot bigger distance from home plate in the center field. So a 2-out base runner for Watertown. And here's Braden Zog. Tall first baseman, a shoulder width stance on the right side. And the first pitch down and away, blocked by Solano to keep Rabine at first. 1 ball, no strikes the count. Kelly set once again. Peek at first and sidesteps, delivers. It's popped up sky high right side. Solano up against the catch fence and it lands 2 rows deep. Out of play. One ball, 1 strike, the count. Kind of had a reminiscence of play where Joe Mauer went charging into the catch fence, like a netting rather, and actually pushed the netting back in order to make a grab. This one just 2 rows deep. Kelly checks on Rabine at first before the 1-1. Solano sets up, down, and away. The 1-1, breaking ball, missed a touch inside. Tried a front door breaker and couldn't catch the inside edge. Now 2 balls and a strike. Tap and a drag by Zog. He struck out against Kelly his first trip. 2-1, misses high and tight. Now 3 balls and a strike. Kelly to Zog. Ben Altoff on deck. Four hits for Watertown. Nothing in that column for the Hardhats as Kelly makes Rabine dive back in. On the season, Eli Kelly, 5 innings, just 1 run, and it was earned. As it misses for ball 4 on the 3-1. So Rabine took off on the pitch. It's runners on first and second after the single and now the walk. All with 2 outs. Actually, that was Kelly's last outing. Overall on the season, 12 innings. This is his 3rd start, 4th appearance overall, a 2-0 record, 9 runs, only 3 earned. 3 strikeouts to 2 walks and a 1.75 ERA. Has allowed 18 hits, and hits don't come back to bite you if they don't amount to anything. Here's Altoff, a slow roller, right side. Kelly off the mound, a tough play to first, and it's in time to get Altoff. Kelly fielding his position and gets Altoff out 1-3 for out number 3. We head to the bottom of the 3rd right after this on Hardhats TV and Fox Sports Rapid City.
Big thanks to Tiffin Free Service Incorporated, also Knockout Surgical Hospital and Continent Communications, Marco's Pizza. Thank you for sponsoring Post-22 Baseball.
Gunderson, Palmer, Nelson, and Ashmore has provided a full range of legal services for over 40 years in Rapid City. As one of the largest and highly respected law firms in western South Dakota and multi-state region, our expert team of diversified attorneys offer a very personalized style of legal representation. Whether it's support and recommendations with legal documents or the strongest proponent in a court of law, trusting who you hire as your advocate is vital in achieving the best results. Contact the experienced professionals today at Gunderson, Palmer, Nelson, and Ashmore Attorneys at Law.
Welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail Broadcast booth, sales service and side-by-sides. To the bottom of inning number 3 and on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick, it's Watertown 0, Hardhats 0. Jackson Mogg back to the mound, and on the season, give you his numbers here. 5 innings, and the 1 appearance was a start. 5 strikeouts to 4 walks, no runs, just 4 hits allowed, and opponents hitting just .235 against him. So what would appear is Watertown's ace, at least in this early season. Once again, Watertown 3-3 on the season. Faced Aberdeen Smitties and Fargo Post 400. First pitch to Jake Solano off the high part of the net. Gave me a split-second scare, but it's first pitch strike on Solano. 8-9-1 due up for the Hardhats. Just the one base runner given up by Jackson Mogg. He winds, kicks, and deals, and Solano chases a high fastball, 0-2. Leadoff man here in the bottom of the third. Mogg into the wind once again, and the 0-2 is pop foul, right side out of play. Count remains 0-2. Solano, a super senior, coming back after a year in college, and Solano just got a piece of the 0-2 breaking ball. Front of the bat head. Still an 0-2 count. Plays club ball down at the University of South Dakota in Vermilion. 0-2, breaking ball, misses downstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Last year, a .272 average for Solano. And it's popped up sky high on the infield. Fair territory. The first baseman, Zog, makes the grab for out number 1.
Number 15, Wilson Kiefer.
Now Wilson Kiefer. Kiefer in the 9th spot and shortstop defensively for the Hardhats. Tap to the plate on the right side, a slightly open stance. And Kiefer looks at a breaking ball that missed a touch outside. 1 ball, no strikes to count. Mogg into the wind once again, and the 1-0. Fastball, this one right across the knees, called strike 1. Even count now, 1 ball and 1 strike. Wind in the 1-1. Breaking ball, this one missed the outside edge. 2 balls and a strike on Kiefer. On the season, 4 hits and 20 at-bats. So right at the Mendoza line, 200. And Wilson looks at ball 3 high. 3 balls and a strike on the Hardhats 9 bat. And the top of the lineup on deck, that's Zeke Farley. Here's the 3-1. A high fly ball, playable in center field for Ryan Roby. Few steps to his left, and he makes the grab for out number 2. Kiefer underneath of that one. Not able to get on top of it. Here's Zeke Farley. He steps in on the right side for his second at-bat of the ball game. He's 0 for 1, struck out looking to start off the Hardhats first. And Farley, a little blooper into center field, and that's the Hardhats' first hit of the ball game. It comes with 2 outs and off the bat of Zeke Farley. Now Amarian Saylor. Saylor steps in on the right side. Farley on first with 2 gone. I've said that a bunch this season. Farley on first with Saylor at the plate. Not so much with 2 outs. First baseman plays in front of Farley at first, holding him on and then moving in front of the base runner. Saylor looked at ball 1 outside. Here's the 1-0. It's a line drive, right center field. That'll split the outfielders, and on 2 bounce the wall. Farley rounds 30. He's heading to the plate. The throw comes in, and it's an RBI triple for Amarian Saylor. And the Hardhats are on the board with 2 outs. It's 1-0. Boy, see ball, hit ball, Amarian Saylor. He has done it all and uses his speed to get all the way to third base, even with the 2 outs, and beat it by a mile. Here's Riker Henny. First pitch to Henny, a breaking ball, high and tight. He bends out of the way of that one. 1 ball, no strikes to count on Henny. So a 2-out single, a 2-out triple that scores a run, and then the RBI singles machine, Riker Henny at the plate, and he looks at ball 2 low. 2 balls and no strikes to count on Henny. Mogg kicks and deals the 2-0, a line drive, and base hit into center field, right in front of the center fielder, Roby. An RBI single for Riker Henny, said that plenty last season, and it's 2-0 Hardhats. Saylor just walked in from third base, scoring easily. Olatoff out to the mound to have a quick word with the pitcher, Mogg. 2-0 Hardhats on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. The new batter, the cleanup bat of Alex Dietrich. Open stance, bent over stance on the right side. 2 outs still. Runner on first, a bouncer right back up the middle into center field. Henny, turn around second, he holds up there. 4 back-to-back hits for the Hardhats. A single, a triple, a single, and now another single, all with 2 outs here against Mogg. The second trip through the lineup has proven big for the Hardhats. A team approach. 2 on, 2 outs, and now Harrison good. Henny on second, Dietrich on first, and a called strike 1. The breaking ball drops in there on good, 0-1. Mogg set at the chest. Peek at second, double takes as the shortstop runs away, and it's a bouncer to the third baseman. Rabine takes it to the third base bag. 5 unassisted fielder's choice ends the third inning, but the Hardhats strike for 2 runs. An RBI triple and an RBI single for Amarian Saylor and Riker Henny, and it's 2-0 Hardhats after 3. We head to the 4th right here on Hardhats TV and Fox Sports Rapid City. Welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail Broadcast Booth. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. Eli Kelly back to the bump, working with the lead now, 2-0 Hardhats after 3 innings of play. We head to the 4th, and that means Jared Cyrus to the plate. A bouncer on 2 hops to Peyton Tipton at second. 1 pitch, 1 out, 4-3 ground out for Cyrus. So he moves to 1 for 2, a single his first trip, and now that ground out, and that'll bring up Caleb Nygaard. Nygaard, the first of back-to-back strikeouts from Eli Kelly in the 2nd. Steps in on the right side, leans back on his back foot, and fouls it away for strike 1. 2-0 Hardhats. Part of 4 straight hits, all with 2 outs for the Hardhats. The 0-1, breaking ball through the wickets of Solano and back to the backstop. Does no harm, and even count, 1 ball and 1 strike count. Kelly set, working solely on the stretch, straight up defense for the Hardhats, and Nygaard looks at a called strike 2, inside edge. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. The 1-2 once again. Breaking ball, little flare into center field, and it hangs up for Zeke Farley to make the grab, out number 2.
We'll bring up number 20, the DH Colby Locker.
Here's Colby Locker. He too was a strikeout victim of Eli Kelly's. Came in the second. First pitch to Locker. Outside, ball 1. A fastball that time from Kelly. 2 outs and nobody on for Watertown in their 4th. And now the 1-0 becomes 2-0 as breaking ball misses below the knees. 2 balls and no strikes to count. The 2-0, fly ball into left field. The left fielder Amarian Saylor a few steps in, and to his left he makes the grab for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down, go post 17 in the 4th. Back to the bats are the Hardhats right after this on Hardhats TV and Fox Sports Rapid City. Welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail Broadcast Booth. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. Adam Birch bringing you Post 22 Hardhats on Hardhats TV and Fox Sports Rapid City. It's the bottom of inning number 4 in the Hardhats with a 2-0 lead over Watertown Post 17. As Wyatt Anderson looks at ball 1 high with the fastball from Mogg. 1 ball, no strikes to count. Mogg into the wind, kicks and deals, and the 1-0 breaking ball misses down and away. Anderson thought about it, and 2 balls and no strikes. Now the 2-0. Chopper right at the plate, fouled it off his front foot. That's why the ankle protector is on that front foot. 2 balls and a strike. Mogg kicks and deals the 2-1. Chopper right up the first base line and rolls foul. Even count now 2-2. Anderson walked in the second. That was the Hardhats' lone base runner until the third with 2 outs. An even count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mogg winds, kicks, deals, and the 2-2. A touch outside, 3-2. Mogg, white cleats, sets up on the far first base side. Into the wind he goes, and the 3-2 line drive foul. So one bounces into the Hardhats bullpen area. Anderson tried to turn and burn on that one. Just had plenty of hook on it. Another payoff pitch, 3-2 from Mogg to Anderson. Here it is, the payoff. And it's a bouncer up the first base line, foul. Sounding like that one hit off the top of the bat. Anderson making Mogg work here as the leadoff man, and the 3-2 a line drive, base hit right back up the middle into center field, and Anderson is 1 for 1 on the ball game. He's reached base twice, and that'll bring up Peyton Tipton. Tipton will step in on the right side. A few signs relayed from Coach Torvey down at third. 2 taps of the plate, a wave of the bat, and Tipton's ready as Mogg stares down Anderson at first. Sidesteps and deals, and Tipton a sky-high pop-up, foul territory, left side, and it drifts back into fair territory as the left fielder, Rodden, makes the grab as he tumbles down to his backside. That's out number 1. So Tipton's down on 1 pitch. Here's Jake Solano. Popped up to the first baseman his first time up. 1 out, Anderson aboard first. 2-0 Hardhats. Bottom of the 4th. Mogg kicks and deals and misses in front of the plate. Anderson takes off the throw down to second, not in time. As the second baseman, Nygaard, blocked the ball in front of the second base bag. So Anderson up to second on the wild pitch. So a duck on the pond in scoring position now for Solano. 1 ball, no strikes to count. Long looking from Mogg, now likes the sign. A peek at second. Double takes as he stares down Anderson, and the 1-0 is swung on and missed. The even count now 1-1. Hardhats, after not having a hit until the 3rd inning, now have 5 hits as Solano swings through the 1-1. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes to count now. And they're actually out hitting Watertown now 5-4. Mogg kicks and deals the 1-2, a chopper right back to Mogg on the mound. Anderson will go to third, and Mogg goes to first, and that's out number 2. 1-3 ground out as Anderson moves 90 feet away from making this a 3-0 ball game. 2 outs for Wilson Kiefer. A breeze there is here in Rapid City is blowing left to right, slightly in. First pitch to Kiefer, just got a piece of it and fouled away right at the plate. 0-1. Kiefer fly to center his first trip. Got good bat on ball, but underneath of it. The 0-1, high fly ball to center field once again. A few steps back, Roby underneath of it, a few steps to his left, and he makes the grab out number 3. So the Hardhats strand a man 90 feet away as they lead 2-0 after 4. We head to inning number 5 right after this on Hardhats TV and Fox Sports Rapid City. Welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail Broadcast booth. Sales service and side-by-sides. Top of inning number 5, 2-0 Hardhats as Eli Kelly back to the hill for the Hardhats. And the first pitch is a called strike at the top of the zone, 0-1. Will Engstrom, the shortstop, Trevin Rodden, and Ryan Roby. 3 scheduled here against Kelly in the Watertown 5th. And a high fastball swung on and missed by Engstrom. Now down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Watertown went down in order in their half of the 4th. Kind of a shutdown inning on the mound from Eli Kelly. He misses high, 1-2. But not a bad waste pitch on the 0-2. Engstrom showing that he's willing to chase the high fastball. Solano sets up inside the 1-2, called strike 3 right at the knees, and a backwards K starts inning number 5 defensively for the Hardhats. Strikeout number 4 of the ball game for Eli Kelly. Here's Trevin Rodden. And Rodden looks at a called strike 1 at the knees. 0-1. Rodden 0 for 1. Bouncer to Kiefer at short his first trip. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and foul tipped into Solano's mitt. Now no balls and 2 strikes. Hardhats, if anything, shading slightly to the first base side. Wide open up middle as Rodden swings through a high fastball on the 0-2 to go down swinging back-to-back strikeouts. Strikeouts number 4 and 5 overall for Kelly, and it's out number 2. Here's Ryan Roby. 1 for 2 day for Roby. Slightly bent at the knees, and the first pitch, a breaking ball, skipped in front of the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. Boy, the concession stands smell very good here tonight. Smells like they're grilling some burgers. 1 ball, no strikes to count on Roby. A single in the first, bouncer to short in the 3rd. Kelly kicks and deals a 1-0. Popped up, shallow outfield. The shortstop Kiefer calls everyone off and makes the grab out number 3. back-to-back 1-2-3 innings for Eli Kelly. And the Hardhats are sent back to the bats in their half of the fifth right after this on Hardhats TV and Fox Sports Rapid City.
It will be Zeke Farley.
Welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail broadcast booth. Sales service and side-by-sides. The Hardhats hanging on to a 2-0 lead over Watertown Post 17. That score on the State Farm scoreboard insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. Jackson Mogg back to the hill for Watertown. He's into the wind, and first pitch skips in front of the plate for ball one. On the top of the Hardhats lineup, Zeke Farley. Farley is 1 for 2, a single and a run scored in the third, part of back-to-back 4 straight hits for the Hardhats as Farley looks at a called strike one outside edge. 1 ball, 1 strike. Farley, Saylor, and Henney, the 3 scheduled. Mogg winds, kicks, deals the 1-1, misses the touch inside. 2 balls and a strike. Farley, a bright blue bat. He squares the bunt, offers at it, and drops it foul. That's strike 2. Even count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Trying to surprise the Watertown defense. Tap of the plate on the right side. Shoulder width stance now with the 2 strikes. Mogg winds, kicks, deals, and the 2-2. Bouncer up the middle. The shortstop Engstrom fields and fires to first, but it's not in time. Farley beats it out. It's an infield single for Zeke Farley. He's 2 for 3 on the ball game. And don't put Zeke Farley on base with Amarian Saylor following him, because Amarian Saylor, boy, this man has come out of the gates hot. A RBI triple his last trip to the plate. Lined the second in his first trip, so he's just 1 for 2. First pitch to Saylor. A breaking ball misses high. 1 ball, no strikes to count. Third baseman Rabine playing slightly in front of the third base bag. Runner takes off for second. The pitch is low for a ball and a no throw as Farley slides in feet first with a stolen base. Two balls, no strikes to count, and now Amarian Saylor, a man in scoring position. Recorded his 11th RBI of the season. His last trip, the 2-0, misses low, and a hitter-friendly 3-0 count. Coach Dorvey telling him to pick his spot on the 3-0. Basically, that means if it's not there, just leave it. The 3-0 misses down and away. Actually called a strike as Farley took off for a third. He swipes third. Back-to-back stolen bases. It's a 3-1 count on Amari and Sailor. And a hard hat 90 feet away. Watertown brings the infield in. Hasn't been a lot of soft contact off the bat of Amari and Sailor. They bring it in. Here's the 3-1. And a called strike 2 outside corner. 3-2. Riker Henny on deck. 2-0 Hard Hats. Bottom of the 5th. Mogg set once again. High leg kick and the payoff. It bounces in front of the plate. Blocked by Altoff. And Sailor draws the walk. So he's on base for the second time. Puts runners on the corners with nobody out for Riker Henny. Altoff asks for time and relays some signs in front of the plate. Sailor has plenty of speed. Wouldn't be surprised to see him try and swipe second. Hardhats put on a rundown play in Billings. He takes off for second. The pitch is inside for a ball. The throw down is not in time as Sailor swipes second base. Farley held up at third. But the Hardhats showing off their speed at the top of the order. 2 in scoring position now. And it looks like Watertown will bring the infield in once again. I can say the same for Riker Henny's bat. Not a lot of weak contact. The 1-0 to Henny. This is outside. 2 balls and no strikes. First base is open. Alex Dietrich on deck. Henny is 1 for 2, an RBI single in the third. Scored the second Hardhats run. A 2-0, swung on and missed. A nice breaking ball there from Mogg. Kind of popped up before just sinking down into the bottom of the zone. 2 balls and a strike. Mogg kicks and deals, and Henny out in front of the 2-1. Now even count, 2-2. Henny this season already with 5 runs batted in. Here's the 2-2, and it's a low dribbler, right side diving off the glove of Nyberg. Everyone will be safe. It scores another run, and it's 3-0 Hardhats. Kind of serendipity as Henny just kind of flared his bat out in front, but hard contact, good effort by Caleb Nyberg at second. It's an infield RBI single. Farley scores easily. Sailor to third. Runners on the corners now for the aforementioned Dietrich. Mogg from the stretch, and he steps off and looks Henny back. No action in the Watertown bullpen just yet. And the first pitch misses low. A late steal attempt by Henny. It gets away and goes into center field. Sailor scores easily. So a double steal. Ends up a stolen base and an error. Stolen base for Henny. And an E2, a throwing error on the catcher. Altoff to allow Sailor to score. 4-0 Hardhats here in the 5th now. Henny aboard second, still nobody out. The 1-0 to Dietrich. It's popped right side, drifting foul territory, but it's the right fielder, Cyrus, who makes a grab. And as that ball carried him into foul territory, Henny tags and moves to third. That's just the first out. So Dietrich is 1 for 3 now. That brings up Harrison Good with 1 gone. Hardhats have struck for 2 in the third and 2 already home here in the 5th. Harrison Good pops one to the shallow center field on the run. Ryan Roby, but it's the right fielder Cyrus who makes the grab. And Henny tags and will slide in safely across the plate. It's 5-0 Hardhats. An RBI sacrifice fly by Harrison Good. Now Wyatt Anderson. Base paths clear now. Anderson is 1 for 1. Has reached base twice, walked as well. First pitch to Anderson off the front of the bat, slow roller back to the mound. Mogg fires to first, that's out number 3. So the Hardhats strike for 3 runs in their half of the 5th, and they lead 5-0 after 5. We head to the 6th after this on Hardhats TV and Fox Sports Rapid City. Welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail Broadcast Booth. Sales Service and side-by-sides. 5-0, the Hardhats lead. On the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. It'll be Marcus Rabine who leads things off. His first at-bats of the season coming here in Rapid City, and he's already 2 for 2. Left-handed bat. Solano sets up down and away. Kelly kicks and deals and hits that outside corner for a call. It's strike 1. Eli Kelly starting his 6th inning of work. Has looked sharp so far. And the 0-1 fouled away. Now 0-2 on Rabine. For Kelly, trying to see his pitch count. He's approaching 60 pitches now. This will be number 59. Kicks and deals, the 0-2, breaking ball popped up, shallow left field. Wyatt Anderson can't find it, and it bounces in no man's land. The throw goes to second base, and it's off the glove of Tipton as Rabine slides in safely. It'll be a double. And Marcus Rabine is 3 for 3. And Anderson, Kiefer, and Saylor all talking things over. It was a long run for Saylor. Anderson went out right away, but couldn't find it. New batter is Braden Zog. A peek at second. Kelly kicks in, deals, and it's a called strike one. A fastball from Kelly. No balls and a strike. Zog walked his last trip, so he's just 0 for 1. He struck out in his first at-bat in the first. Shoulderwood stance on the right side. Here's the 0-1. Line drive, base hit into left field, past the leaping glove of Wilson Kiefer, and it's back-to-back hits for post 17. A double and a single to put runners on the corners. Now Ben Altoff, the catcher. Solano relays some signs in front of the plate. Altoff, 0 for 2. Lined into an inning-ending double play. Kiefer to Tipton to end the first. First pitch to Altoff, right above the knees, called strike one, 0-1. And he bounced back to Kelly, who had to field his position well, just a slow bouncer right past him on the mound, and kind of died on the infield turf. The 0-1, breaking ball, called strike two as it just dropped in there and ended up right at the belt. No balls and 2 strikes on the Watertown catcher. Kelly comes set. The 0-2 misses high and tight. Not a bad waste pitch. And the Hardhats will send Nate Kindred down to the bullpen. Kelly fires the first to check on the runner there. And Zog is back in safely. No outs and runners on the corners. Watertown trying to cut into this 5-0 deficit. Kelly ready once again. The 1-2. Breaking ball popped up on the infield. Shallow outfield now as Tipton goes out, and he will make the grab as Farley kind of crossed in front of him. We have a dangerous play, and Tipton makes the tough grab for out number 1. Not nearly deep enough for Rabine to try and tag and score. So it's just an F4 for out number 1, and the Hardhats back in double play depth with the 1 gun. Here's Jared Cyrus. Kelly's first pitch, foul ball back to the screen, 0-1. No balls and a strike. Cyrus is 1 for 2, a single in the second, bounced to the aforementioned Tipton at second, his last trip. Kelly set in the 0-1, misses outside with a fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Reeling a little bit here. Over 65 pitches now. One, a little bloop single into right field in front of Harrison Good. A run comes in to score. And the throw is offline, but it's backed up by Wyatt Anderson. It's 5-1 Hardhats as Rabine comes in to score. RBI single for Jared Cyrus. Now Caleb Nygaard. Tapping the plate on the right side. Runners on first and second, 1 gone. Hits tied at 7. Hardhats with a 5-1 runs advantage. Runner at second dancing around there, and Kelly checks on him as Tipton fields the high throw. That's Zog just dancing around at second base, trying to get in the head of the young right-hander. First pitch is a called strike one, lower outside corner on Nygaard. 0-1. The second baseman for post 17 is 0 for 2, flied to center and struck out. Rests the bat on his right shoulder, pops it up, leans way back on his back leg. The 0-1. A little blooper off the end of the bat, past Anderson, nobody covering third base. Kiefer fires to first, and the Hardhats do get an out. A nice play by Wilson Kiefer. Anderson crossing in front of Kiefer, and Wilson having to make a cross-body throw. So runners move up to second and third. Nygaard out on the 6-3. For out number 2, here's Colby Locker. 5-1 our scorer. Kelly set once again. First pitch to Locker, a ground ball off the arm of Anderson. A barehanded throw to first by Kiefer, and it one bounces into the glove of Alex Dietrich. Boy, that's a way to back your fielders up. Rolled up the arm of Anderson on a hard hit, tough bounce. Kiefer barehanded it out of the air and fired to first in time for the out. It's 5-1 as the Hardhats come back to the bats in their half of the 6th. Right after this on Hardhats TV and Fox Sports Rapid City. Welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail Broadcast booth. Sales service and side-by-sides. A new arm on the mound for Watertown post 17. It's number 22 on his back, a right-hander by the name of Bryce Holt. First appearance on the mound this season for Holt. And he comes in with post 17 trailing 5-1. Hardhats would love some insurance runs before what I would guess Nate Kindred comes on for the top of the 7th. 7, 8, 9, Tipton, Solano, and Kiefer, the 3 scheduled, and Tipton looks at a first pitch fastball called strike 1. 0-1. Holt leans in and kind of a sidearm delivery. He misses down and away with a breaking ball, 1 ball and 1 strike. Holt bends way over even when he comes set. Just kind of flings it out of his right hand. And Tipton fouls it away left side. One ball and 2 strikes now on Tipton. He's 0 for 2, kind of a weird play. His first at bat, he looks at ball 2, even count 2-2 now. But it hit off the knob as he swung and rolled up in front of the plate. The catcher, Althoff, threw him out. Bouncer left side on a backhand. Engstrom fires to first, a scoop on the back end. It's off his glove, and Tipton is safe. Would have been a close play, but it looked like the throw was going to beat Tipton by a step. See if that's ruled a hit or an error on the scoreboard. And make the judge after that. Jake Solano steps in on the right side. Runner on first, nobody out. Solano squares the bunt, drops it down, and rolls to the pitcher. And he fires to first, and it rolls up the first base line. Backed up on the play. The throw comes in. So Solano ends up at second. Tipton ends up at third on the play because the second baseman Nygaard had to cover first with Zog and Holt crashing. Is ruled an error that allowed Tipton to reach. Actually, a single in our book. First pitch strike called on Wilson Kiefer. 2 ducks on the pond. Nobody out for the 9 bat of Kiefer. And Wilson looks at a called ball 1 low. Even count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Definitely an error on the pitcher to allow Solano to reach. Kiefer looks at a breaking ball inside. Kind of had to skinny up on that one. 2 balls and a strike. 2 in scoring position, nobody out. Here's the 2-1. And down and away, ball 3. 3-1 now on Kiefer. Top of the Hardhats lineup. That means Zeke Farley on deck. Infield in for Watertown, and Kiefer fouls one back to the backstop. 3-2 now. Kiefer is 0 for 2. Pair of flyouts to center in this ball game here. Still just a slight breeze here in Rapid City. Here's the payoff to Kiefer, and it's a fly ball to center field once again. Roby underneath of it. He makes the grab. Both runners tag. The throw comes in. It's cut off, and a run comes in to score. A sacrifice fly for Wilson Kiefer. This time a productive fly to center, and it's 6-1 Hardhats. So Tipton scores easily. Solano to third on the tag. Here's Zeke Farley. First pitch to Farley. Misses high and tight for ball 1. Infield still in for post 17. Trying to keep this a 5-run ball game. And Farley looks at ball 2 inside. Holt toes the rubber on the far first base side. Leans in. Kicks and deals, and it runs inside and hits it. Farley wears it and jogs down to first with no problem as it hit off the elbow guard. I'll put runners on the corners. And bring up Amarian Saylor. Altoff out to chat with Holt. 6-1 advantage for the Hardhats on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. 1 run, 7 hits, 3 errors for Watertown. 6 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Hardhats. Threatening once again. 1 out, runners on the corners. First pitch to Amarian Saylor. Runs high and tight, ball 1. Saylor is 1 for 2. Line to second his first trip. An RBI triple and a run scored in the 3rd. Walked and scored in the 5th. And he fouls it away out of play. Back near the indoor facility. Kind of a hit and run play as Farley took off. Even count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Holt kicks and deals, and the 1-1 misses down and away. It's off the glove, and the throw down to second and goes into center field. Solano scores easily. Farley slides into third. It's 7-1 Hardhats. Another error. This time might be ruled on the shortstop. Saylor still at the plate. Infield in, with Farley aboard third. And Saylor swings through the 3-1, now 3-2. Payoff pitch. Holt to Saylor. As a fly ball to center field, right in his tracks. The center fielder, Rolby, makes the grab. Tagging and scoring Zeke Farley. It's 8-1 Hardhats. Another RBI for Amari and Saylor. This time via the sacrifice fly. That's out number 2. Empty base paths now for Riker Henny. And Henny goes after the first pitch and fouls it away. Right side out of play. 8-1 Hardhats. And they do exactly as I mentioned, tack on some insurance runs. Nate Kindred looks to be warm, just playing catch down in the bullpen. And leaning on the fence down there, not wanting to wear out his arm too much. Even count, 1 ball, 1 strike on Henny. He's 2 for 3, a pair of RBI singles, also score run. And it looks at ball 2 inside. 2 balls and a strike to count. And he pops the bat off his right shoulder. The 2-1 runs inside and hits him in the back. That's another hit batter, so Henny trots down to first.
The batter, 27, Alex Dietrich.
Here's Alex Dietrich. The first baseman is 1 for 3. A single and a third is lone hit. Fly to right and bounce to short outside of that. First pitch to Dietrich. Chop foul right at the plate. 0-1. Might have been off of his own foot. Maybe his back foot even. Lots of time. See hitters foul it off their front foot. The 0-1 misses down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Looking Holt to Altoff. 1-1 called strike outside corner. Now 1-2. Dietrich waves the bat out in front of the plate. The 1-2 runner takes off. It's a line drive foul as Ewing ducks out of the way of that one. A smile on his face as Coach Ewing avoiding catastrophe. Still a 1 ball, 2 strike count on Alex Dietrich. Bounces the bat off his right shoulder. Here's a 1-2. Flares the bat out in front. A bouncer up the middle to second as the shortstop Engstrom takes it to the second base bag himself. That's out number 3. Scored 6 unassisted, fielder's choice. The Hardhats strike for 3 huge insurance runs. And Eli Kelly to take the ball to start the 7th. when we return on Hardhats TV and Fox Sports Rapid City. Welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail broadcast booth. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. It's the top of the 7th, and Eli Kelly back to the bump, trying to complete the complete game, leading 8-1. Nate Kindred in the bullpen. He looks to be warm, but Kelly to face 8, 9, and 1, the 3 scheduled. A first pitch fastball called strike 1 on Will Engstrom to start off the 7th. 0 for 2 day for Engstrom. His lone at-bats of the season. And the 0-1 misses a touch outside. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Straight up Hardhats defense. Leadoff man in the top of the 7th, the 1-1. Misses high with a fastball, 2 balls and a strike. For Kelly, his pitch count is up over 70 pitches. And the 2-1 becomes 3 balls and a strike as he misses down and in. Engstrom ready, Kelly's ready, the 3-1, and it's a called strike 2 now, right above the knees on the inner edge. Payoff pitch upcoming. Kelly to Engstrom. Here's the payoff. Low fly ball over my head. Foul. Count remains 3-2. Engstrom, Rodden, and Roby. Rescheduled. 8, 9, and 1. Another payoff from Kelly. Just got a piece of it. Engstrom fouled it back to the net. Watertown's Junior Legion sitting directly behind home plate, shielding their faces from that one. Payoff once again, a breaking ball downstairs, ball 4, and Engstrom draws a leadoff walk.
The batter number 4, Trevin Rodden.
Here's Trevin Rodden. Runner on first, nobody out, 8-1 Hardhats. Kelly sidesteps and deals. Rodden drops down a bunt. Kelly fields his position, bobbles it, and he won't have a play. Be an infield bunt single. Rodden quickly up the first base line, and this is a similar situation of where Watertown was in the first inning. 2 on and nobody out. But in that first inning, it was the top of the order. Now it's the top of the order. Ryan Roby at the plate as the 8-9 batters reach base. First pitch to Roby off the shoulder of Solano and by the Hardhats dugout. So both runners move into scoring position now. Kelly just spiked that ball in front of the plate. Tough play for Solano. 1 ball, no strikes the count on Roby. He's 1 for 3 on the ball game. Kelly looks in. Straight up defense for the Hardhats. Peek at second, kicks and deals a 1-0. Called a strike right across the belt. Fastball from Kelly. 1 ball, 1 strike. 8-1 advantage here in the top of the 7th for the Hardhats. Kelly likes the sign from Solano as Jake sets up down and away. The 1-1 misses downstairs. Scoop between the legs of Solano. 2 balls and a strike. Kelly trying to dial it in. Here's the 2-1. Down and away, 3-1, and this might be Kelly's last batter. Nobody out, 2 ducks on the pond in scoring position in the form of Engstrom at third, Rodden at second. Kelly kicks and deals a 3-1, misses high for ball 4. And here comes Coach Klapprich out of the dugout. A slow walk to the mound. No signal just yet. Kindred out of the bullpen, and that will be the end of the night for Eli Kelly. Fist bumps all around to his Hardhat teammates. A nice round of applause from the Hardhats faithful as Kelly, his night is done. Gives away to Nate Kindred. We'll take a quick step aside as Kindred throws his warm-up pitches and be back for the rest of the 7th. Right after this on Hardhats TV and Fox Sports Rapid City.
New music for the Hardhats will be under
Welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail Broadcast booth. Sales service and side-by-sides. On the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick, it's Hardhats 8, Watertown 1. We're in the top of the 7th inning. Eli Kelly gives way to Nate Kindred. And Kindred coming in a difficult spot. Bases loaded, nobody out. Pull up Kindred's numbers on the season. He's kind of developed into the closer role for the Hardhats. This is his 5th appearance on the season, 7 1/3 so far, 1 save in the lone opportunity. 7 hits, 2 runs both earned. A 1.91 ERA for Kindred. Tall right-hander on the mound. He'll face a left-handed hitting Marcus Rabine to lead things off. Bases loaded, nobody out, 8-1 Hardhats. First pitch from Kindred. There's a strike calling on the outside corner. Kindred, a hard fastball. Hit the outside edge. Kindred looks into Solano. So relook at the signs, a peek at first, takes a peek at everyone around him. Kicks and deals the 0-1. Chopper on the left side. Kiefer to second for one. Over to first. In time. No, it's not in time. Safe at first. A run comes in to score. The Hardhats only get one. It's a fielder's choice, 6-4. It looked like the relay was in time, but safe the call at first. So Rabine beats out the double play. Braden Zog, the new batter. Roby out at second. That's out number one. It's 8-2 now in favor of the Hardhats. Kindred sidesteps and deals and hits the inside edge, 0-1. Zog is 1 for 2. Reached base twice. Single and a walk. Struck out in the first. Engstrom was the runner that came across the plate on that last play. Bouncer, left side once again. Diving stop by Kiefer. He won't have a play, though. Another run comes in to score. This time an infield single. It's 8-3. Here's Ben Altoff. Rodden comes in to score that time. And now Altoff pops it a foul out of play. Off the awning and off of the indoor facility. 0-1 the count on Altoff. Rabine at second. Zog aboard first. 8-3 our score. Kindred looks into Solano. Comes set. Peek at second in the 0-1. Foul ball off of Solano's foot. Takes a moment to himself. Our umpire and Kindred sharing a grin across each of their faces as umpire just giving Solano a moment to himself, to regather himself. No balls and 2 strikes on the catcher, Ben Altoff. He's 0 for 3 on the day. The 0-2 from Kindred. Strike 3 called. Outside edge, and Altoff goes down looking. That's out number 2. First strikeout for Nate Kindred. So Eli Kelly's line is complete. 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, only 2 earned, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks. First pitch to Jared Cyrus, fouled back out of play. 0-1. Cyrus 2 for 3 on the ball game. Pair of singles, 1 drove in a run. In between those 2 singles, bouncer to Tipton at second. Middle infield playing up the middle, the 0-1, down and away, blocked by Solano. 1 ball and 1 strike. Kindred trying to finish off this ball game. Stare down at second. He comes set, a high leg kick in. The 1-1 misses down and away. 2 balls and 1 strike on Cyrus. Here's the 2-1, swung on, foul tipped into the glove of Solano. 2s across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 gone. Kindred looks into Solano. Watertown down to potentially their final strike of game one. The 2-2 from Kindred. Strike three called outside edge, and down goes Cyrus looking to end the ball game. Hardhats win game one, a final score of 8-3. We'll take a 30-second step aside and come back for our Pioneer Bank and Trust postgame show right after this on Hardhats TV and Fox Sports Rapid City. Welcome to our Pioneer Bank and Trust postgame show. Pioneer Bank and Trust is proud to support local sports, and they want to be your trusted partner for all your banking needs. Pioneer Bank and Trust is local. Visit pioneerbankandtrust.com. Hardhats winners in game one. 8-3 winners over Watertown Post 17. Game two of this doubleheader coming up in about 30 minutes from now as we dive into the box score of game one. Scoreless first two innings for both clubs before the Hardhats finally got on the board in the third inning, and it was in a big way. The first hit of the ball game for the Hardhats off the bat of Zeke Farley and then Amarian Saylor, an RBI triple. Scored the first run of the ball game. Riker Henny, RBI single machine, drove in Saylor easily from third, and that made the score 2-0 Hardhats. A scoreless fourth for both clubs, and then the Hardhats struck for three more in the fifth. Watertown would gain one in the sixth against Eli Kelly, but the Hardhats struck for three huge insurance runs in the bottom half of the sixth inning. Eli Kelly came out for the top of the seventh and ended up loading up the bases. It was a walk, a single, and another walk before Nate Kindred came to the mound, and Kindred gave up a fielder's choice, an RBI single, and then back-to-back strikeouts to end the ball game. So Watertown struck for two in the top of the seventh, and that was all she wrote in this one. 8-3 the final score for Watertown. 3 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors defensively for Post 22. 8 runs, 8 hits, 1 error defensively for the Hardhats. Game one's player of the game is sponsored by Claiborne Los and Sabres. Whether it's divorce, injury, or a business dispute, when you need someone to step up for you, the law office at Claiborne Los and Sabres is always ready. Just Google Claiborne Los and Sabres in Rapid City. And game one's player of the game, I got to give it to Eli Kelly. Back-to-back very solid outings for Eli Kelly. In this one, he finished his day 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, only 2 earned, 5 strikeouts and 3 walks, and then Nate Kindred shut the door with the 1 inning, 1 hit, no runs, because both of those runs in the top of the 7th charged to Kelly, and then 2 strikeouts for Nate Kindred as well. So Hardhats game 1 winners will have game 2 in a little bit here in Rapid City. Until then, we'll stop the stream on Hardhats TV and start a new one and come back here on Fox Sports Rapid City after sending it back to National Fox programming here in Rapid City. Hardhats game 1 winners, make sure to stick around for game number 2 in about 25 minutes from now. Stick around. All right, sounds good.